Okay, so you already know how to do like 15 divided by 5. It's the same as saying 5 times something should give us 15. So you would say, oh, wait a minute, I know that. 5 times 3. And you would say 3 is the answer. Another way to look at it, this 15 divided by 5 is to write it this way, where the first number goes in this division box. So this is also saying 15 divided by 5. And we want to know, whatever number we put up here, this is where we're going to put our answer. These two numbers on the outside, these two numbers here, should get multiplied to equal what's on the inside. So it's just like writing this problem here, saying 5 times something will give me 15. So 5 times something will give me 15. And we go, oh, 3. 5 times 3. And we would check it. We'd say 3 times 5 is 15. And we'll write that right underneath the 15 that we started with. And we'd say, oh, yeah, look at that. And if we subtract it, we have, in this case, nothing left over. If we had something left over, we would want it to be smaller than the 5 that we started with. So here, on this one says 8 divided by 3, or 3 times something equals 8. Now we know nothing times 3 gives you 8 exactly. So we want to get close without going over, 8 or close to it. So we're going to say, okay, 3 times something, 3 up here as our answer, 3 times something has to give me 8 or less. You can't go over 8. Well, 3 times 1 isn't enough. 3 times 2 will give me 6, and 3 times 3 is too much. So we'll put the 2 up here. 2 times 3, and we'll put that answer right here. And then we're going to subtract it from the 8 that we started with, and we have 2 left over. So it meant that 3 would fit into 8 2 times, but it would have 2 left over, so we call this our remainder of 2. That was our leftovers. This is our remainder down here, where we can't get another set of 3 out of it. So we would say 8 divided by 3 is 2, with 2 left over, 2 remaining. So down here we have 138 divided by 4, and that means, well, 4 times something should get us 138 or close to it. So if we put it into the division box, 138, and we put the 4 out here, and then again we're saying, something up here is going to be times 4 to get us 138. Now, you know what? This 138 is awful big, so we're going to take it a little bit at a time. Like, I can't say 4 times something will give me 1. That won't work. But 4 times something will give me 13 or close to it without going over. I happen to know that 4 times 3 is 12. So if I put that 3 up here, 4 times 3, that one will get me close to the 13 part of it. So 3 times 4 is 12, and I'm going to write that 12 right under the 13 part, because that's the only part I'm looking at right now. And then just like before, I'm going to subtract it. And I have 1 left over, which is good. I always want to have less than whatever this number is out here. So then I need to do the rest of the problem. So what I'm going to do, since I haven't used the 8 yet, I'm going to bring it down here with the 1 that was left over. And now I have the number 18. So then I'm going to say, well, 4 times something should give me 18, or close to it without going over. Well, we know 4 times 3 was 12, and 4 times 4 is 16. That's going to get me close to the 18. So I'll put the 4 up here. 4 times 4 gives me 16, and I'll write that down below. And I'll subtract it just like I did up here. I'll subtract it, and I have a 2 left over. And since I don't have any more numbers to bring down, this is my leftovers. This is the end of it. I have 2 left over. So my answer is 34 with a remainder of 2. That means that 4 times 34 plus 2 more will give me 138. So 4 times 34 must equal 136. And then 2 more gives us 138. Up here, we have 125 divided by 5, or the idea is 5 times something gives me 125. If we do it over here, we can say, okay, 5 doesn't go into 1. 5 times something isn't going to give me 1. 5 times something could give me 12 without going over. 5 times 2 is as close as I can get to 12 without going over. 5 times 2 gives me 10. So I did that multiplying and I put the answer down here. And then once I get that, I must subtract. 12 minus 10 is 2. We haven't finished the problem yet, so now I'm going to look at the 5, bring it down. And I'm going to do the same process over again. I'm going to say, well, 5 times something will give me 25, or less. I don't want to go over. Well, we know 5 times 5 is 25, so we'll put that 5 up here. 5 times 5 is 25. And then we'll subtract to see if we have any leftovers, and we don't. So what we discovered then is that 5 times 25 gives us 125. Let's do another one. Let's say we have 3 into 918. Again, we want to think of this outside stuff as multiplying out here to get what's inside here. 3 does fit into 9, doesn't it? 3 times 3 gives us 9. So I'm going to put that 3 right above the 9 because that's the only number I'm using right now. 3 times 3 gives me 9, so I'm going to write it right here underneath it. And then I'm going to subtract, and I don't have anything left over. So I'm going to bring down the next number, 1. Well, 3 times something, does it equal 1? Nope. So we're going to have to put a 0 here because it didn't work for us. Bring down the next number. 3 does go into 18. 3 times something equals 18. 6 times 3. 3 times 6. 6 times 3 equals 18. And let's subtract, see if we haven't, nope, no leftovers and no more numbers to bring down. So what we found out is that 3 times 306 gives us 918. Let's do another one. Let's do 2. And here we'll do 2 into 113, or 113 divided by 2. Now, 2 times something should give us 1, which we don't have that, right? So now we'll look at both of these numbers together. We tried just the first number by itself, and that didn't work. But then we'll put the next number on there. See if that works. 2 times something will give me 11 without going over. Well, 2 doesn't give me 11 exactly, but it does give me 10. If I said 2 times 5, and I'm going to put this 5 above this 1 here because that's the last number we were working with. Okay, so 2 goes into 11 5 times. 2 times 5 is 10, so we'll write that down here. And then always subtract. So 11 minus 10 is 1. Okay, whenever we subtract, always come up with something smaller than what's out here. All right, now bring down the next number so we can work with it. 2 times something should give us 13 without going over. Well, 6 times 2, notice the 3 is what we brought down, so we'll put our answer right above it. 6 times 2 is 12, and when we subtract, we have 1 left over. So 2 fits into 113 56 times with a remainder of 1 left over. Let's do another one. 4 And let's try 5, 6, and let's do 8. Okay, so starting here, does 4 fit into 5? Yep, fits in there one time, doesn't it? 1 times 4 gives me a 4. We subtract. All right, bring down the next number. 4 times something equals 16. Oh, yeah, I know that one. 4 times 4. So 4 times 4 gives me 16. And if I subtract, there's no leftovers on that one. Bring down the next number that we haven't used yet. Does 4 fit into 8? Sure enough, it does 2 times. So 2 times 4 is 8. And when we subtract, there were no leftovers. So we found out that 4 fits into 568 142 times. That means 4 times 142 equals 568, or 568 divided by 4 is 142.